Hi everyone, Scott here with another Aperture experience for you. This is all about saving some disk space. Recently, I'm starting to hit the limits on my hard drives, and in addition to buying more disk space, there are some things you can do with your Aperture library to cut down on the space. You can read the blog entry that's listed below the video, see all the details, but there is a great script available from the ApertureExpert store that allows you to convert a master file. You basically take a large raw or other master file and convert it to a smaller format. There's some trade-offs with it, but at least for me, in several situations, the trade-off's well worth it. I've done my post-processing. I've done everything that I want to do with the image. I just want it to take up less space on the drive. I did want to show you a quirk that I've found with the script because of how my workflow is. But first, let's take a quick peek here. I'm going to convert this image here, which is clocking in at 184 megabytes. Pretty large image. From the script that you have at ApertureExpert, you can run this and essentially ask you a couple of questions. I'll just do this for quick and dirty. Default for converting it to an original size JPEG. You can pick any kind of format that you have, any kind of export that you defined. Okay, great. It's saying I can save 179 megabytes. Let me pop back over to my main library here, and you can see I've got this rejected image, which was my master, and then one right next to it. Blow those up. Let's see here. Here's the original master. Now here's the converted image. And I'm toggling back and forth, and there's a very slight, change in maybe the brightness levels. I mean, really slight. Probably something I could even recover or, alter with just straight aperture adjustments. But the more interesting thing is, here's my 184 megabyte file, and now I have a 4 megabyte file. And again, toggling back and forth. Gigantic PSD file, small JPEG file. That's a great trade-off for me, great disk space. Now, let me show you what happens here with a little bit of a quirk. I exported this and converted the master and imported this new file. And we looked at the comparison, everything's fine. I look at my keywords. I keep my keywords locked. And because of that, when this exported and re-imported original comes in with these keywords, I get this imported keyword area, and this will have all the keywords that apply to that image. If I had my keywords unlocked, there really wouldn't be any issue. Why do I keep them locked? I've griped about this on my blog a few times. PhotoStream is the biggest culprit. Anytime an image is coming into Aperture that has keywords on it, if it wasn't exported from Aperture, the keyword hierarchy isn't honored, and so I end up with various keywords strewn all throughout my hierarchy. I don't like that. So the manual way to fix this, of course, is either drag all these things, like if I had a description, there'll probably be some more in here about a cityscape or so forth, or the place would be Vegas. The simple way is, in this case, because I only have one image, delete it. You'll see it disappear from this image. Then I have to do a lift and a stamp, right? That gets annoying really fast. So I modified the ApertureExpert script to deal with this for me, so the keywords get applied correctly, but I don't have to go and lock and unlock and play with keywords. The details of how to modify the script are on the blog, but let's run through it real fast now. So let me tidy up and we'll go through it. So we'll start here again. Keywords are locked, which is what would normally be true, and we'll just leave that window there. I will run my version of the script. Find default. You'll notice the keywords disappeared there for a moment, and then they came back. That's kind of a visual indicator of my script. I essentially save off the keywords before exporting. Export the image without the keywords, and then apply them back to both the source and the destination afterward. And so I haven't had to do anything here. Nothing shows up as imported or exported, yet all of my keywords are valid and correct. Caveat. For whatever reason, if you had decided you wanted to export and convert this original using an export preset that excludes metadata, this will still grab your keywords. I'm not sure why you would want to do that when converting an original. All the metadata would be stripped away. EXIF data, captions, everything else that you've done to the image, cataloging it in your Aperture library. So it doesn't seem to me that's a sensical choice for an export preset for converting originals. But hey, if you decide you want to do that, then my modifications are not for you, and you'll either not care about imported keywords, maybe you don't care about metadata at all, in which case you probably stopped watching 5 minutes ago. All right, that is the basics of it. So again, doing all this stuff, we can really start to save up disk space. We saw in just this one image, went from 184 megabytes to 4. So imagine doing that across, umpteen images in your library. The two situations I use this most often is my file size is large, so I have a smart album, and there's details in the blog for how to build those up. And then the other one is if I have 2-star images. I don't have any in this test library, but the idea is, in my world, 2 stars is maybe a sentimental image. Child's at a performance and you're shooting through a crowd and the lighting is horrible, yet you want to keep that image. I don't need to keep an 18 megabyte RAW file. I'd be happy with a 3 megabyte JPEG file, and fantastic for disk savings. So that's all. Have fun and talk to you soon.